and this might be a cop-out answer, so I apologize, but one of the things that I think we should really focus on is organizing and bringing together communities. I think right now, especially after COVID and during COVID, we got really divided. People got isolated, and now you're starting to see people like yearn for connection and being parts of community, being in part of a community. The main obstacle we see with that, though, is like, social media kind of gives this false feeling of social media, not social media, of being in community as well. And so I think like really organizing people on goals that align, issues that they're trying to solve, and bringing people together is really going to be the best way to get us out of anything that's happening at the city, the state, or the federal level.
Hi guys, welcome back, and we're here with Community Powered ATX, and we have our guest, Misael. Hi.
Hi y'all, how's it going? Howdy, howdy.
Hi.
So, who are you, and where are you from?
Hey, what's up, y'all? My name is Misael Ramos. I am actually from Dallas, Texas originally. Moved to Austin in 2005. Been living in East Austin for a little over a decade now.
What are you up to here in Austin, or why are you in Austin for any particular reason?
Yeah, I originally came out here for school, wanted to get an education, and ended up getting that, Texas State University, go Bobcats. After I graduated from there, I actually did foreclosure prevention, where I traveled around the country helping people get out of foreclosure because it was the Great Recession. And then I eventually ended up back in Austin as my landing place. And once I got here, I started getting into organizing with my neighborhood. Moved into my East Side neighborhood. Shout out to Brenda Malik, who was our president of the historic Rogers Washington Holy Cross neighborhood. And she pretty much helped me like start my organizing journey. I had already organized like events and stuff and whatnot, but she showed me like what community organizing was really about.
That's really cool. I also got, involved with organizing through a mentor as well, Susana Almanza.
Nice.
And I met her back in, I want to say, 2018, and just kind of took off there. I can definitely agree with having somebody to kind of open that pathway of organizing. What piqued that interest?
Really just going back to, coming back to Austin, seeing my neighborhood, even back when I like first moved into my neighborhood, I could see that there was a decline in Black people in the neighborhood, but I also saw like this neighborhood of Black folks who were just very tight knit. And for me, I wanted to, get involved and give back to the community. And so I found, my neighborhood association, and from there I ended up also doing affordable housing with the Black Land Community Development Corporation, and got involved in a lot of other things just in East Austin as well. And Susana, that's a great mentor. Susana's like one of the dopest organizers that I've ever like come into contact with, and I've learned a few things from her as well.
Oh yeah, for sure. She's definitely my grandma now.
Oh wait, I have
The East Side grandma.
I have a question for
Right.
both of y'all.
Yeah.
Okay, so it came up like right now, like without y'all mentors, would you guys think like you would have been doing something differently right now?
That's a really good question. I don't think I would be this deep into organizing or more of like political education to youth. But I do think that I would still be doing something environmental, but more like on a scientific approach than on an organizing approach.
Yeah, I think for me, I probably would still be this deep into it. Growing up, my stepdad, he was very pro-Black and militant, and so my first like actual hero was Huey P. Newton. So like that's kind of the background that I come from, and so when getting involved and whatnot within, the East Austin neighborhoods and just connecting to community, I think like I probably would have eventually found my way into it.
Yeah, I was just about to say that your own superhero origin story. Do you want to ask for the hot take?
I'll ask the hot take question. So what do you think about like capital stuff?
It's pretty wild. It's pretty wild. Shout out to Representative Collier. Definitely needs to be our next governor. She's holding it down and really showing that, you know, there is resistance and revolution in it. Yeah, it's pretty insane what's happening over there with all the Democrats having to pretty much give up their rights for the next few weeks, just because, you know, we have this sham redistricting thing happening, and they're just, you know, they're standing up for the people. And so I think it's pretty wild of everything that's happening, but, you know, also hopeful and inspiring too.
What's your other hot take?
My other hot take is, why are tacos $9? Like, it's wild. It's wild. I'm like, I'm eating the tacos and I'm like, they're really good, but $9?
I have a question. Where is that happening at? When I eat tacos, I like make them myself, so I don't really eat out tacos. But where is this happening?
There's a couple of spots. There's a couple of spots around town. I'm not gonna like, you know, put them on
Yeah,
blast,
you don't have to say anything, but that's genuinely interesting.
Yeah, there's a couple of spots.
And terrifying. Oh my god.
Right,
How much tacos? Like how much? How much should tacos be, like, from your perspective?
I think max $2. Max $2. I know, like, there's different places in San Antonio and different places in Dallas, and even some spots here in Austin where you could get like a taco for $1.50. So yeah, that's the price point to me.
No, I can definitely agree. The next thing I wanted to ask is, what are some top issues that you're currently dealing with?
Some of the top issues I'm currently working and organizing around are tenants' rights. So been doing a lot of tenant organizing with a couple of outfits, of course, Community Powered and GATO, the Greater Austin Tenant Organizers. And I think, like, it's been really important just because Austin has really transitioned into this very tenant-heavy city. And so, you know, there's slumlords out there and other folks who are trying to take advantage of that. And so we have to start building collective power by connecting people and empowering them so that they feel like they have a voice. And a lot of housing stuff, I would probably say, for the most part, and transit definitely another thing. Working on, you know, the things that have been happening with 35, cap and stitch stuff. That's an interesting take too. And so, like, all the communities and businesses that have been impacted, just really like organizing with them and really just hearing, you know, what's happening and what type of service and support that they need.
Yeah, I definitely wanted to dive a little bit into the cap and stitch stuff now that you brought it up. I'm somewhat familiar with what's going on as far as the city's budget and how that's affecting transit itself. Is there more you could kind of break into with that whole thing going on?
Yeah. So the city basically, well, I guess we'll back up. So TxDOT wanted to expand 35, you know, to and add 3 more lanes on each side. And the city wanted to kind of, you know, proactively get in front of it. I know that there was an effort to fight the expansion, but eventually we got to a point in which the city kind of settled for a cap and stitch. And basically, for any of my Dallasites out there, the caps are basically going to be, you know, a cap on top of 35 that you can have like a park, you can have housing on there as well. And the stitch will just basically cut off those feeder roads so that everyone will pretty much align to like one specific highway. Now, the big things about the cap and stitch is they're really expensive and really pricey. There's a lot of folks also who aren't sure where the funding is going to come from. It's a very, you know, divisive topic. Some people wanted it in the beginning, but then saw the price tag and don't want it anymore. Some folks think we should go for it, just given the fact that TxDOT's going to expand 35 anyway. And so it's made for a very interesting conversation.
Would you say that more than likely it would come from, I want to say, that tax increase that they're doing? I'm not too sure if it was rejected or not, but would you say that that's probably a form of where that money is going to come from?
Yeah. I think some of that, the funding with the tax rate election, the TRE that's coming up, would go into the cap and stitch. And me personally, I don't think that that's where it should go, but definitely could get into like further discussion on that at another point.
We'll have a part 2.
Yeah,
a lot of stuff.
yeah, we'll talk for like 3 hours on that.
So the next question I want to ask are, what solutions you think we should focus more on?
Some of the solutions that I really think we should focus on, and this might be a cop-out answer, so I apologize, but one of the things that I think we should really focus on is organizing and bringing together communities. I think right now, especially after COVID and during COVID, we got really divided. People got isolated, and now you're starting to see people like yearn for connection and being parts of community, being in part of a community. The main obstacle we see with that, though, is like, social media kind of gives this false feeling of social media, not social media, of being in community as well. And so I think like really organizing people on goals that align, issues that they're trying to solve, and bringing people together is really going to be the best way to get us out of anything that's happening at the city, the state, or the federal level. I think people are just ready. People are just ready for something new. People are ready to, build their own power, use their own voice, and become their own boss. You know what I mean? And just really be able to like shift things around.
Yeah, I can definitely agree with that. What are some challenges faced when organizing in Austin?
So, we faced a lot of challenges here in Austin. I'll just start with like, preservation within like East Austin. So my neighborhood, we actually like were one of the first historic districts in East Austin. It took us 5 years to actually get it accomplished. It was a uphill battle, mainly because the narrative around preservation, which is, rightfully so and true, historically was that people used preservation tools to keep people out. And there are neighborhoods in Austin that essentially did that. And so coming from a Black neighborhood, it was an uphill battle for us to really just get people engaged, organized, to come together. I actually remember my first community organizing meeting that my neighborhood threw me into, and it was horrible. I think I got like 7 or 8 people to show up, and it wasn't even like a dialogue or anything. So it was pretty rough. But eventually, I started to like learn more and pick up more. And the next community engagement meeting that we had was pretty solid. We got like a really good turnout. Majority of the neighborhood came out. We also had struggles previously with 12th Street. We've been trying to get, historic preservation for a couple of different like businesses and houses over there. There's one specifically on the 1500 block of 12th Street. And that was an uphill battle, but we organized and we won. It was it was a big deal for a lot of us. But I think the thing that always comes back is it seems like we're consistently not only running into the challenge of changing the narrative of what, this mystique is of homeownership or preservation or whatever it might be, but also running into challenges whenever we try to engage with our like city council reps. I don't know, I can't speak for every other district. I know our district was really tough. And so it pretty much was, all the groups that I've been organizing with relying on ourselves to get ourselves through and get things positive.
So I have some rapid fire questions for you. Number 1, what's your favorite local food spot in Austin?
Favorite local food spot? Oh no, I have so many.
Top 2.
Top two. I would probably say, why am I drawing a blank all of a sudden?
Top 3?
Top 3. I would probably say I go to Paperboy quite a bit for brunch. I definitely like Mi Madres. I go there with friends all the time. And I would probably say Shirley's, which is a Caribbean food truck. and they just got a brick and mortar, so I can't wait to go visit them there.
Wow, I'm gonna try that.
Yeah.
You know, I have 3, but I don't know if one of them's local.
Go for it.
But
Let's
so
hear it.
Rositas, I've been going there like forever.
Rositas, okay.
Las Trancas,
Las Trancas, that's a great taco truck.
love that.
Open late too?
I don't really know. I
Do you
don't know.
wanna
I don't. Well, because I don't know much. I don't go outside.
Oh,
So I don't know much local spot. And then the second question is, do you float the river every summer?
I try to, yeah. I try to float
Mhm.
the river every summer. Mhm.
Oh, okay. Number 3, ever seen the bats at Congress Ave Bridge?
I have, yep. I've seen the bats a few times.
Are they pretty? I wanted to go, but like I don't know when to go.
You should check it out. It's pretty cool. Like I think like right before, was it dusk? They start to, like, people get there, and then they'll start to come out. Like you can hear them like waking up and
Oh.
stuff, and then they start flying out. It's really
I
cool.
I haven't been
cool
in
sight.
years, but I guess
haven't
her question
gone.
is, when should she go?
Yeah.
When should she go?
Yeah, when should Genesis go to the bridge to see them?
That's
Isn't
a
it
good
this week?
question. I think
Or-
that's like a summer.
It's
I think
summer?
summer. Yeah,
Oh.
I think anytime during the summer is a pretty good time to go, because I think they migrate too, if I'm not mistaken. But
Mm-hmm.
And the last question is your favorite local music spot or events in Austin?
favorite local music spot or events in Austin. So I will plug my girl Mercedes and say We Outside on Saturdays. We Outside is a run club. It's a lot of fun. And then afterwards, there's a bunch of line dancing and just really good community building. I would also say for local spots, well, one of my local spots shut down, the Skylark Lounge. There was a lot of good music that came through there. So since that's closed down, I'm gonna go ahead and say the Sahara Lounge. The Sahara Lounge is probably the music spot. And then downtown, my spot's the Mohawk.
Okay, well, thank you.
I do have one last question before we close this episode.
Mm-hmm.
So, is there any last minute topics you'd like to talk about? Anything that
Yeah,
comes to mind
last minute
particularly?
topics. I would probably say there's, I think that there's like this just big public narrative about like supply, demand, and all the things that, I think folks are really trying to like attach themselves to. But unfortunately, we're not seeing like real solutions being brought forth. We're not seeing the impacts felt by communities here. And from my conversations, people are fed up, they're tired, they're getting disengaged. I just want to say, this is the time for all of us to really like step up and, really connect with the folks who do feel apathetic towards the system. Rightfully so, some folks have like checked out. I'll even be honest with you. Sometimes I check out, and I try to give myself that space to, relax and let things go and connect with more people. Because at the end of the day, we're really gonna get ourselves out of this. And it all starts by, one, organizing, but two, changing the narrative of what's necessary. We also have this, pretty huge building downtown called City Hall, and it's time that we get some real solutions where the government's actually supporting and helping out. People are ready for that wave, and Austin is, we're saying that we're this progressive city. Well, I think it's time for us to show it. And so, I'd probably say that's it for me.
Absolutely. I definitely agree with that. Here we are closing the episode. Thank you, Misael, for coming. And that's it.
Cool. Thanks for having me, y'all. This was fun.
the first
Woo, woo,
episode.
woo, woo, woo.